The crash wasn't supposed to happen. Cole had flown many missions through deep space before. He was a skilled technician and a former scout for Earth's Exploration Corps. But today, something went wrong. His ship was hit by a strange magnetic storm above a small unmarked moon. Everything went black. He woke up with bruises on his side, blood in his mouth, and his ship lying in pieces around him. He was alive. Barely. Stumbling out of the wreckage, he activated his suit's distress beacon. The air was breathable, but cold. The sky above was purple with two faint suns hiding behind thick clouds. As he walked toward a large mountain range, he saw something unusual. Towers, arches, and what looked like ancient ruins made of black stone. It didn't belong here. It was too perfect, too symmetrical, not natural. He followed the path leading to what appeared to be a temple or palace. Inside, the halls were wide and clean, untouched by time. Strange glowing lines moved along the walls, lighting up as he passed. The deeper he went, the more he felt like he was being pulled forward, not by force, but by curiosity. At the center of the chamber was a crystal pod, standing upright like a coffin. Inside it was a tall, elegant figure, a woman with long silver hair, violet-tinted skin, and wearing something that looked both royal and armored. Her eyes were closed. She looked like she had been asleep for a very long time. A voice echoed in his mind, not from his ears, but directly into his thoughts. "You broke the seal. You have awakened me." Cole jumped back, his hand reaching for his belt, but he had no weapon left. The crystal around the woman cracked and shattered like ice. Mist poured out. The woman took a deep breath, her chest rising, then she stepped forward as if she had just finished a long nap. Her eyes opened. They were golden, glowing softly. She looked at him with a mix of curiosity and pride. "You are not Zalari," she said calmly. "You are human." Cole tried to speak but only managed to say, yeah. "Name's Cole. I crashed here." The woman placed her hand on her chest. "I am Queen Nelyara of the Zalari Dominion. As written by the old laws, the one who breaks the stasis seal is owed 3 wishes, gifts from the last sovereign of my people." Cole blinked. "Wishes? Like real ones?" She nodded once. "Any 3 things within my remaining power. Choose wisely. My strength is not eternal." Cole didn't know whether to laugh or run. "All right, 3 wishes, huh?" He looked her up and down. She looked powerful, graceful, and way too serious. "Okay then. For my first wish, I want to share your bed." Silence. For a moment he thought she didn't understand him. Then, the queen tilted her head. Strange, but accepted. "Wait, what?" Cole was suddenly nervous. "You're not joking?" "No," she replied. "Among my kind, a bed-sharing vow is not taken lightly. It is a sacred bond of trust given only to those we deem safe to keep close. By ancient law, you are now my chosen consort." Cole's mouth went dry. "Consort? I just meant, sleep next to each other. I didn't mean—" She raised her hand. "Your wish was made. I have honored it. The bond is now active." Suddenly, a faint silver thread of light wrapped briefly around both of them before fading into nothing. He rubbed his face. "This is insane." The queen stepped closer, her voice calm. "You speak without caution, but I sense no cruelty in your heart. You are not like the others who once sought my throne. You did not come here for power or conquest." "I just wanted to not die," Cole muttered, "and maybe find a way off. This moon." She looked toward the broken ceiling. "You will. But now we are connected. Until your 3rd wish, I cannot leave you. It is tradition." Cole sat down on a broken piece of stone. "So let me get this straight. I wake you up. You give me 3 wishes. I use the first one as a dumb joke, and now I'm your royal consort?" "That is correct." He sighed deeply. "Wow, this day just keeps getting weirder." She sat beside him, surprisingly graceful despite her armor. You should rest. The storm outside will last until the twin suns meet. That gives us several hours. Cole looked at her. Do you sleep too? I have rested for centuries, but I will stay beside you if it eases your fear. He didn't know how to respond. She didn't talk like a person, more like a poem. But there was something in her voice, something tired yet kind. He was starting to believe she wasn't just some alien warlord, but a real queen who had been alone for too long. That night he lay down in a soft corner of the chamber. True to her word, Queen Nelyara lay beside him, quiet, respectful, and distant, but not cold. Cole didn't sleep well, but his mind was racing. 3 wishes. A sleeping queen. A strange new bond. He wondered what he had just started and what the second wish would cost. The storm outside lasted longer than expected. Thick clouds covered the twin suns and sharp winds howled through the mountain cracks. Cole and Queen Nelyara remained inside the ancient palace. The place was built strong, with no sign of damage, despite its age. It was cold, but the walls seemed to hold warmth from long ago. Cole sat near a glowing wall panel, trying to send a signal again through his broken communicator. Nothing worked. The queen watched silently from her seat on a high, stone ledge. Her golden eyes followed his every move, but she said little. She had changed clothes since waking. Now she wore a long silver robe with patterns that looked like stars and waves. It made her seem even more royal and distant. Cole finally broke the silence. You sure you're okay with this? I mean, the whole bonded to a human because of a wishes thing? Nelyara looked at him for a moment. You do not understand the depth of your request. Among the Zelari, sharing a sleeping space is not a simple act. It is a sign of trust, connection, a mark only given once in a lifetime. Cole scratched his head. Yeah, I didn't mean it like that. I was just trying to be funny. I thought I was dying, to be honest. The queen's voice was calm. Intent does not change the law. What is done is done. He stood and stretched. So what now? I mean, you're awake, I'm stuck, and we've got 2 wishes left. Any chance one of those wishes can fix my ship? She rose slowly, her robe flowing behind her. Possibly. But first you must understand who I am and why I was sealed away. Cole leaned against the wall. All right, I'm listening. The queen looked toward the ceiling where carvings of ancient battles were etched in silver. I ruled this moon and others beyond it. My people, the Zelari, were once proud and wise, but we grew too strong. Our enemies feared us. They united. Against us, races that once fought each other came together just to end our rule. She paused, her eyes darkening. In the final war, I chose to seal myself in the core power of my line in this place, hoping that one day someone worthy would awaken me. Someone different. Cole folded his arms. Different how? Someone who didn't seek power. Someone who would see me as a person, not a weapon or a throne. He was quiet for a long time. Then he smiled a little. Guess your plan worked. I'm just a guy who fixes machines and makes dumb jokes. Nelyara nodded. Perhaps that is exactly what the galaxy needs. Suddenly, the walls pulsed with light. A noise echoed through the chamber, like a hum followed by sharp clicks. The queen stood alert. Someone is near. Cole reached for his broken blaster. Who? Scavengers. Or worse. Footsteps approached from the dark hallway. 4 figures entered, tall aliens with rusted armor and glowing red eyes. They carried plasma blades and metal tools, scanning the walls greedily. One of them saw Cole and shouted, "Human, step away from the artifact." Cole raised his hands. "Easy. I'm not touching anything." The queen stepped forward. Her presence alone made the intruders freeze. Her voice thundered across the room. "You dare enter the Hall of Nelyara uninvited?" The aliens hesitated. One of them whispered, "It's her, the lost queen. She's real?" Another barked, "Take her. She's worth more than any treasure." They lunged. Cole didn't think. He moved. He shoved one aside and tackled another, trying to give Nelyara time. She didn't run. Instead, she raised her hand, and a burst of bright energy exploded from her palm, knocking the attackers back. But one managed to stab Cole in the side with a shock blade before fleeing. He fell to the floor, groaning in pain. The queen rushed to his side, kneeling down. Her hands glowed with soft white light as she pressed them over his wound. "You are wounded. Why did you protect me?" Cole winced. "Because you're my friend, or something like that. And I don't let friends get hurt." Her expression softened. The energy in her hands healed the cut, closing the skin slowly. "You are not like the others. No Zellery warrior would do what you just did." He smiled faintly. "Yeah, well, we humans are weird like that." She helped him sit up, her hand lingering on his shoulder. "You risked yourself without a second thought. I must reconsider your place in our bond." Cole raised an eyebrow. "Wait, are you upgrading me from accidental consort to something more official?" Nelyara looked away, but a small smile curved on her lips. "Let us say, I am beginning to trust you." They rested for a while. The queen created a protective energy barrier around the chamber just in case more enemies came. Outside, the wind continued to howl. Later that evening, she approached Cole again. "Your second wish is still yours to make." He looked at her seriously. "Can I ask you something first?" She nodded. "If I wished for you to be free from these old rules, like the bond, the traditions, the royal laws, could you be free?" She looked surprised. "Yes, but no one has ever asked that." "Well, that might be my second wish." She stepped back slightly. "You would use one of your wishes to set me free?" "Yes," Cole said. "Because I think you deserve that choice." The queen didn't reply right away. Then she said softly, "I will remember this, but make no wish yet. Not until you are certain." He nodded. As they sat quietly in the old palace, the bond between them didn't feel forced anymore. It felt like the start of something real, something neither of them had planned. The night was quiet now. The strange storm had passed, and the palace stood peaceful once again. Only the soft hum of ancient energy filled the silence. Cole was sitting near a glowing pillar, holding a cup of warm liquid that the queen had prepared, using her old technology. It tasted like herbs and smoke, but it made him feel better. Queen Nelyara sat across from him, watching with a calm expression. Her silver robe shimmered in the low light. "You have not spoken much since the attack," she said gently. Cole looked up and smiled a little. "Just thinking. You've given me a lot to think about." She tilted her head. "You fought bravely. You protected me even though you had no reason to. That means something among my people." "I'm not one of your people," he replied. "No," she said, "but perhaps you are something more important. You are honest." He looked down at the floor. "Do you still have to follow those old rules? About the bond, the throne, all the duties?" Nelyara closed her eyes for a moment. "Yes. Until the third wish is made, my fate is tied to the one who woke me. That is the law written into our bloodlines. I cannot choose freely, not until the final wish." Cole set the cup down and stood up. "Then I'm ready." Her eyes opened, surprised. "For what?" "For my second wish," he said. "I wish to set you free. From your old rules, your royal duties, and your bond to me. I want you to choose your own life, not be forced to follow old traditions." The chamber became completely silent. Nelyara stared at him, her golden eyes shining with emotion. For a moment, she didn't speak. Then slowly, she stood. "You would use one of your wishes, not for yourself, but for me?" she asked softly. He nodded. "It's your life. You should live it your way." She placed a hand over her chest, her expression unreadable. "Very well. The wish is accepted." A glowing light formed between them. It pulsed gently, like a heartbeat. Nelyara raised her hand and touched the center of Cole's chest with 2 fingers. By the laws of the Zilleri, by the ancient stars, and by my own will, I released myself from the binding vow. The light grew brighter, then faded completely. A weight lifted from the room. The queen stepped back and took a slow breath. It is done. Cole felt something change. He could no longer sense the quiet presence in the back of his mind that had been there since they first bonded. You're really free now, he said quietly. Yes, she replied. For the first time in centuries, I am truly my own. They stood facing each other, the silence between them filled with unspoken understanding. Then she smiled. A real warm smile. Thank you, Cole. He smiled back. You're welcome. The next day, they explored deeper parts of the palace. Cole followed her as she showed him rooms filled with old memories, maps of ancient star routes, weapons powered by forgotten energy, and murals that told the story of her people. This place is like a museum, Cole said. It is a tomb, she replied, and now it is time to leave it behind. Do you have somewhere to go? She looked at him. No, not yet. I was hoping you might help me decide. He chuckled. I don't even know where I am, Your Majesty. She gave him a look. I told you, I am no longer bound by that title. Just Nelyara is fine now. All right, he said. Nelyara, let's find a way off this moon. That evening, as they worked on scanning the sky for signals, they picked up a faint message. It was broken but clearly human. Cole's eyes lit up. That's a rescue signal. Nelyara nodded. It's weak but real. A ship is passing nearby. If we boost the signal, they might find you. Cole paused. Find me? She tilted her head. I will not leave this place with you. Not until I know I am ready to enter your world. He frowned. Why not? I have been asleep for too long. Your galaxy has changed. I must learn it again. You gave me freedom, Cole. Now I must use it. He looked disappointed but nodded. I understand. They stood side by side, watching the stars from the open balcony. The sky was clear. Now, the 2 suns were setting, painting the clouds orange and gold. You still have 1 wish left, she said. Yeah, I do, he replied, but I'm saving it. She raised an eyebrow. For what? He smiled. I'm not sure yet, but I'll know when the time is right. She looked at him for a long time, then whispered, I hope, when you use it, you'll choose to find me again. He reached out and gently touched her hand. I think I will. Later that night, the signal was boosted. The human rescue ship responded. They would arrive by sunrise. Cole sat near the exit ramp of the palace. His bag was packed, though he didn't carry much. His eyes stayed fixed on the queen as she stood at the palace doors, her robe blowing in the soft wind. This isn't goodbye forever, is it? He asked. No, she said softly. It is just the start of 2 paths. One day they may meet again. I'll hold you to that, he said with a smile. Then, without thinking, he stepped forward and hugged her. She froze for a moment, then returned the hug, her arms gentle but sure. Goodbye, Cole. Goodbye, Nelyara. The human ship's lights blinked in the sky above, and with that they separated, but neither felt it was the end, just a pause. And somewhere in their hearts, they both hoped the final wish would bring them back together. Cole sat quietly inside the rescue ship, looking out the window as the moon slowly disappeared behind him. The crew had treated him well. They were surprised to find him alive, but they didn't ask too many questions. He had told them about the crash, the ruins, and his survival. But he hadn't said anything about the queen. That part was too strange, too personal. He kept the memory close, like a secret treasure. Days passed. Cole was taken to a medical station for healing, then moved to a space colony near a trade route. It was busy and full of life. Humans, aliens, traders, travelers. But even with all the noise, He felt alone. He missed her. He missed the calm of her voice, the way she looked at him like he was more than just a lost man. He missed the connection that had formed between them, even if the bond had been released. He still had one wish left, but he wasn't ready to use it. One morning, while drinking a hot cup of spiced tea, a small device in his bag began to glow. He had almost forgotten about it. It was a gift from Nelyara before he left, an old Zilari crystal shaped like a teardrop. She told him it would only activate if she ever sent a message through the stars. He picked it up. The glow grew stronger. He placed it on the table, and a small image appeared above it. It was her. Nelyara's face looked tired, her robe dusty, and her eyes serious. "Cole, I am sorry. I hoped this day would not come, but I am being hunted." Cole leaned in, frozen. "A group of ancient warlords, those who once destroyed my empire, have awakened. They sensed my presence the moment I broke the seal. They want to end my bloodline forever." She took a breath. "They are coming for me. I don't know how much time I have left. I only sent this message because I trust you." Then the image faded. Cole stood up immediately. He couldn't just sit there, not while she was in danger. He ran to the station command center and booked passage on the fastest ship available. He didn't tell them the full story. He just said he had a friend in trouble on a forgotten moon. By the next day, he was back on a ship, racing through space. When Cole arrived on the moon again, everything was darker than before. The skies were red with storm clouds, and the wind had grown stronger. The palace stood in the distance, but lights flickered across its walls, signs of damage and battle. He ran toward it, heart pounding. Inside, the halls were no longer silent. Burn marks covered the walls. Statues were broken. Ancient texts sparked and hissed. He found her in the main chamber. Nelyara stood tall, her robe torn and her armor cracked. Her face lit up when she saw him. "Cole." He rushed to her. "Are you all right?" She nodded weakly. "They attacked without warning. I held them off, but they are strong, old, hungry for power. Where are they now?" "Regrouping," she said. "They will strike again." "Then let me help," Cole said. She looked unsure. "You are not a soldier." "No," he said, "but I'm still your friend, and I didn't come all this way just to say goodbye." She gave him a tired smile. They worked together quickly. Cole used his engineering skills to reactivate some of the palace defenses, turrets, energy barriers, and scanning devices. Nelyara focused her remaining power to strengthen the central chamber. Hours passed. Then the enemy came. 3 tall figures entered the palace. They wore black armor, with sharp helmets and glowing red eyes. One carried a staff that crackled with energy. Another moved like a shadow, disappearing and reappearing with each step. The leader stepped forward. "Queen Nelyara," he said with a cold voice. "Your time is over." She raised her chin. "Not while I still stand." He laughed. "You are alone." "No," said Cole, stepping beside her. "She's not." The warlord paused. "A human?" Cole smirked. "Yeah, try me." The battle began. Nelyara unleashed a wave of bright energy, sending 2 of them flying. Cole used the control panel to activate turrets from the walls, forcing the attackers to dodge. One warlord reached Cole, slamming him to the ground. His vision blurred. Pain filled his side. But then, boom! A pulse of light exploded from the queen. She had used the last of her ancient power. The warlord screamed and vanished into smoke. Silence returned. Nelyara collapsed. Cole crawled to her side. "Stay with me," he said, his voice shaking. She opened her eyes. "I used everything I had." "Don't say that," he whispered. "I'm glad you came back." He took her hand, holding it tight. "You're not leaving me." She smiled faintly. "You still have one wish, Cole." He looked at her, her eyes dimming, her breath slowing. "I know," he said, and then, in that moment, he whispered, "I wish for you to live." A soft, golden light surrounded her body. The ancient magic responded. The final wish had been spoken and the queen's fate changed forever. The golden light wrapped around Queen Nelyara, soft and warm. It filled the dark palace chamber with a gentle glow. Cole held her hand tightly, watching as the magic healed her, restoring strength and color to her pale skin. Her eyes, once dim, slowly brightened until they shone with life again. The last wish had been spoken, and it had changed everything. Nelyara took a deep breath, sitting up slowly. She looked at Cole, a new softness in her eyes. The weight of centuries seemed to have lifted from her shoulders. "Cole," she said quietly, "you did not waste your final wish." He smiled, relieved. "I only wanted you to live, to be free." Her lips curved into a smile. "And now, I am free." The ancient magic had not only saved her life, it had removed the last chains of duty and rule. No longer was she a queen, bound by endless laws or royal burdens. She was simply Nelyara, a person. For the first time in centuries, she could choose her own path. The palace, once a tomb, now felt alive with possibility. Cole and Nelyara stood together in the main hall. The ruins around them whispered stories of a fallen empire, but neither of them felt trapped by the past anymore. Cole looked at her and said, "What will you do now?" She thought for a moment. "I want to learn about your world, about humans, your planet, and how things have changed since I was sealed." He nodded. "I'll show you everything." Over the next days, they prepared to leave the moon together. Cole's communicator was fixed by engineers who believed in the Queen's story after witnessing her powers. Nelyara practiced walking among crowds, learning human customs and speech, sometimes laughing softly at the strange new ideas. The bond that had begun as a strange wish grew stronger, not because of magic, but because of trust and friendship. However, the galaxy was not yet peaceful. The ancient warlords who had attacked the palace were defeated but not destroyed. They spread rumors that the Zeleri queen had been reborn and that a human had saved her. This news spread fear and confusion. Leaders of powerful factions sent spies and ships to watch Cole and Nelyara. Some wanted to capture the queen. Others hoped to make allies. Cole and Nelyara traveled from colony to colony, seeking safety and allies of their own. They spoke openly about peace, about unity between humans and aliens, and about the power of choice and freedom. At a gathering of leaders, Nelyara stood tall and said, "No one should be a prisoner of their past. We must build a future where every being chooses their own destiny." Her words were met with surprise and hope. Cole smiled beside her. She's right. One quiet evening on a peaceful world, Cole and Nelyara sat under the stars, far from war and politics. The twin moons shone brightly above, and the air was filled with soft music from a nearby festival. Nelyara looked at Cole and said, "There is one thing I never asked before." "What's that?" She smiled shyly. "What was it like, sharing a bed with me? The first wish?" Cole laughed gently. "Honestly, I was scared. I didn't know what it meant. But after everything, it felt right. Like the start of something. Real." She reached for his hand. It was more than a wish. It was a promise. He squeezed her hand. "A promise I plan to keep." Years passed. Cole and Nelyara became known across the galaxy, not just as the man who woke a queen, but as partners who showed that old rules can change and new bonds can be made. Together, they helped rebuild peace, bridging gaps between species and cultures. They faced challenges, but their bond was strong, built on respect, friendship, and love. And though the queen's crown was gone, her spirit lived on, shining brighter than any throne. Because sometimes, the greatest power is the freedom to choose.